Well, I'm delighted to welcome in our Hot Topics hot seat this month Julia Rosenbloom from Evelyn Partners. Julia, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, there's only one hot topic really we can talk about, isn't it? And that's the mini budget that
Yes.
wasn't technically a mini budget.
Yeah.
What's your take on it? And tell me about sort of your specialism so people know where you're coming at it from.
Okay. Well, so I specialise in tax, in particular dealing with business owners, owner-managed businesses, people who are looking to exit their businesses, succeed their businesses to the next generation, or just grow it and make a great success of it. So that's kind of my thing.
So you're quite a good litmus test really into what
Yes.
businesses are telling you out there. So what was initial headline response to what you heard and what you saw?
Well, it's the most contentful budget that we've had in years. So as much as it's been called a mini budget, I've kind of been through years of budgets where nothing really happened or nothing overly significant happened, whereas this was a budget where there were a huge number of changes. And a lot of those changes are clearly aimed at businesses and growth. That's the headline to the whole mini budget. It's about getting growth. And there are lots of measures in there that are actually really good and are going to be really positive for businesses.
So what happened the afternoon or the morning after the budget? Did the phone then start going off the hook? Did your email go crazy? What was the response from your clients and your businesses to what they had heard?
It was a real mix, actually. So from an immediate headline point of view, the hold of the corporation tax rate at 19%. So it was going to go up to 25% in April next year, but it's not going up to 25%, it's sticking at 19%. So for a lot of businesses who operate through companies, that's hugely positive.
And Liz Truss had hinted she was going to do that in a leadership campaign anyway, hadn't she? So it wasn't a total surprise.
Correct. So that was expected. You never know until it's actually announced, but that was no surprise. Similarly, the withdrawal of the increase in national insurance and the extra tax that was coming out on dividends as well that we've got, so that extra 1.25 percentage points. So both of those have been pulled back as well. Reduction in the basic rate tax as well from 20 to 19%. So there were a lot. So a lot of it, there was an immediate positive reaction actually. The reaction, however, more widely. So the reaction of the markets, the reaction of at the interest rate, the banks, the lenders.
Well, some people even pulled their mortgages, didn't they?
They did.
So.
Yeah, so there's kind of lots of stories out there of mortgage rates that have been offered and rocketing. And so that caused a lot of problems for individuals and for businesses as well who are maybe looking at funding, who are in the process of arranging funding to help their growth. And all of a sudden, the lending has become more challenging.
I was going to ask you that. Let's say I'm a business in the city here, and I'm right at the point where I'm looking to raise finance. What has this announcement done to the prospects and the ease of doing so?
My experience of it so far is that it's become more difficult and more expensive. So the interest rates were already climbing. So we've already seen, even before the mini budget, we've seen a climb of interest rates. So that. Again, that wasn't that. It's not unexpected that we've seen that. Clearly, the predictions are that there will be even more of an increase in interest rates. But also, it's the reaction of the lenders and how they are reacting to what's going on, and being more cautious, offering fewer opportunities for lending, being more careful. So I have clients who are in the middle of arranging funding basically to expand their businesses. And it's not quite back to the drawing board, but it's, okay, we've got to pull back now and all of that, what we thought was on the table isn't on the table in quite the same form.
And I mean, one thing businesses always want is predictability, stability, and able to look out to the horizon at what's coming, don't they?
Yes.
We just don't really have that at the moment, do we?
No, and one of the interesting things that has happened, actually, I mean, the opinion polls. So the opinion polls straight after the mini budget have shown a reduction in the popularity of the government. And if you take what it says in the opinion polls, there looks like there could be a change of government in 2 years' time. Now, of course, a lot can happen in 2 years.
A week's a long time in politics, isn't it?
Absolutely, quite exactly. But what that has done to a lot of business owners in particular, and especially those that are at the other end of their business, so maybe they're looking at an exit. I mean, one of the immediate reactions that I had from a particular client who was particularly worried about this, who said, well, we've been talking about exiting from the business in sort of 2, 3, 4 years' time. And their concern is that if we do have a change of government, what that could do to tax rates, and in particular, in their instance, capital gains tax. So at the moment, if you're a business and you're looking to exit and sell your business, then you can probably have a bit at 10% capital gains tax, so £1 million worth of qualifying gains are taxed at 10%, and then the balance at 20%. Now, those rates aren't bad, actually. I mean, they're not quite historically low, but they are very close to being historically low. So if you're a business exiting under this particular regime, it's quite good, actually. It's quite good tax regime.
So if you are, is there a school of thought that says people might actually want to hurry on those plans and make sure they're finished in the next 2 years then?
I have certainly already had discussions with clients where they are concerned that a change of government could bring a less beneficial tax regime. So if the rate of capital gains tax were increased, or if business asset disposal relief were withdrawn, then they could find themselves with a much different tax result than
a quite significant amount that could be as well, couldn't it?
Yes, I mean, if capital gains tax rates were to align with income tax rates, for example, then we could see a doubling of the capital gains tax that would be paid. So if you're a business owner that's in that zone where you're thinking, well, do I exit in 2 years, or do I exit in 3 years or 4 years? It may just nudge that decision forward. It has to be the right time for the business. No one should ever say, I'm going to do this purely because of tax. But I have already started having conversations with clients who are saying, well, actually, if I am on that threshold, then maybe an exit.
Maybe the tipping point, then, isn't it?
I think for some it will be, and we can't predict. We can't predict the result of a general election, and we can't predict what the tax policy of the new government could be if there is a new government. But that is clearly a concern.
But of course, uncertain times, yes, we're definitely in, but we also need to make sure we're not just talking the economy down, and there are still some good things, aren't there? I mean, like investment zones,
yes,
was mentioned, wasn't it? I mean, that's very relevant for Birmingham, isn't it?
It's a really positive announcement, and as I say, that there were a lot of measures in that mini budget that perhaps haven't seen the air that they should receive to kind of build that. Actually, there is lots of positives here. So the government are introducing investment zones. And they're already in discussion with, I think it's 38 regions within England for zones who may get this special investment zone status. And that investment zone status will bring all kinds of good things with it. So a relaxation in some administrative matters and planning regulations and that kind of thing. And from a tax point of view as well, there's what should be on offer to an investment zone is 100% relief on business rates, SDLT exemption, so stamp duty, land tax, if people are buying within an investment zone, national insurance breaks as well for businesses who are positioned in an investment zone and who take on employees working in that investment zone, so national insurance breaks. And there's also some enhanced capital allowances. So when a business invests in capital assets that are needed for its business, usually the tax relief on that acquisition is phased over many, many years. So in an investment zone, there will be special rules that allow more immediate tax relief. And the West Midlands Combined Authority is on that list that's in discussions.
So we need to be championing and promoting a lot of these benefits for these zones, don't we? Do you think maybe, as you say, some of the headlines from the mini budget means that things like this have been buried a little bit in terms of the...
Yeah,
small
I
print.
mean, there's been relatively little on investment zones actually, and for me as somebody who lives and works in Birmingham and has done, you know, throughout her professional career, that's really exciting to me to see, because this is investment in the Midlands. It's investment in Birmingham. It's investment in business. It's looking to bring investment, bring business, bring staff. I mean, there's the difficulty that so many people report in all different types of business about getting the right staff, getting the talent. There is a talent war at the moment. And so actually, you know, the more that we can draw people into Birmingham by giving people opportunities, having exciting businesses, high growth businesses, long-standing businesses that can really make their mark in Birmingham, that's going to be hugely positive for the city. So I mean, I think that's a hugely exciting area, I think.
And talking about investment, finishing us off on a high, you know, we were looking through some of the big headline-grabbing events over the past few days.
Yeah.
We were talking about the legacy of the Commonwealth Games here on the last
Yeah.
show. And a statistic that you drew my attention to, this is unheard of, isn't it? We've underspent on the Commonwealth Games, is that right?
Yeah, £60 million. So Birmingham did
So do we get to keep that then?
We are getting to keep it, actually. It was announced a few days ago by the government that the 60 million underspend is going to be used by the West Midlands Combined Authority and Birmingham City Council are in discussions with the government about how that's going to be used. But it is going to be used around Birmingham for developing the area in all kinds of ways. So that's hugely exciting. So again, this is all about, this will give a huge boost. It will Birmingham during the Commonwealth Games was really put on the map. I mean, I felt so proud. It was just wonderful to be in Birmingham, to be able to say, I'm from Birmingham, I work in Birmingham, I live in Birmingham. It was just brilliant, and to have all of these people come into our city from all over the country, all over the world, was just fantastic. So to know that. I don't know how they came in so far under budget. I don't know whether that's completely unheard of in this kind of project. But I'm not.
It feels like it is to me. So you know, not only were we able to celebrate Birmingham, but we're now able to show the rest of the world that actually we know how to run a balance sheet.
Absolutely,
as well,
yeah.
Big help. And it is possible to run a sporting event and stick to your costs, isn't it? So they ought to give us the next one as well. Do you think?
Well, you never know. You never know. Well, I mean, Birmingham has proved that it can put on big sporting events and other events.
Absolutely.
So we can do it, and we can do it not even on budget, but under budget. So, you know, Birmingham's got a lot to be excited about at the moment, I would say.
We'll clip that little bit out of your interview and send it to the government. Julia, thank you very much for coming in. Great to see you. Thank you.
Thanks very much.